What is good? What is good? I'm late. I'm like 45 minutes late. Got in a late meeting, guys. I apologize. It's the Justin Henry Show. And like I said, I'm here to answer all your guys' questions. So if you've been waiting on me, sorry. Normally, I'm trying to be on time, man. I'm normally good about it. But today, like I said, I had a meeting that ran over. I'm going to get to all y'all questions. I'm going to stay on late until the game starts. Let's go, baby. It's the Justin Henry Show. You're watching the Justin Henry Show on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Make sure you follow on all social media platforms. What's popping, y'all? I see the questions coming in. It's your boy Justin Henry getting y'all right for Week 13 and Thursday Night Football too, guys. So I know there's a lot of questions coming. I'm going to try to catch up. I know I won't be able to, but I'm going to try to catch up on here first. Then I'll head over to TikTok. And guys, I'll stay on until 5:30 today, up until game time, just to make up for being late. I apologize. Normally I'm spot on. Bradley, the first one in the chat, so I got to make sure I get to this one. And if you have any questions about tonight's game, DFS, any player parlays, whatever y'all want to talk about, it's on the table. And then obviously trade talk, start sits, you name it. That's where we could go. All right, Bradley's asking, should I start Deshaun Watson against Houston, Geno against the Rams, or Kirk Cousins against the Jets? And for me, the matchup I like the most is Geno. They're going to be in a positive game script. Again, he's coming off of a good game against the Raiders. Watson to me is more of the questionable play. If I had to go next, it would be Kirk Cousins. That Jets defense has just been super tough. So I do like Geno on the road to go ahead and beat the Rams. Give me Geno in that one. I think he'll play pretty well. So I start Watson over Lamar this week against a weak Texans defense. No, I'm still starting Lamar Jackson. I'm still starting him, even though he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. Let's wait and see what Deshaun Watson looks like. If it's must win and you really need the upside, I'm okay with it. But to me, let's see what Deshaun looks like before we get him in our lineups. Getting offered Kenneth Walker and Christian Watson for JT. This is a depth for stud move. To me, I'd rather have JT, but it's very close and fair value-wise. I'd probably just keep JT, but I understand if you need a running back for next week. Kenneth Walker's already had his bye. JT hasn't. Go ahead and get it done. Is this the best time to trade T. Higgins before Chase is back? Or should I hold him? I think you could hold T. Higgins. There's going to be other people who think the same thing as you, right? They're going to think, oh, man, his value, right? He already had his max value. Chase is coming back. Don't worry about it. T. Higgins is still rock solid, high-end wide receiver too. And that's about where people were valuing him even when Chase was out. Start one, White, Jamal Williams, or Swift. It would go White, Swift, and then Jamal Williams in that order. Rachaad White still the feature back even with Leonard Fournette back. Pollard, Burks, Zonovan Knight in the flex. I'm going with Pollard, then Burks, then Zonovan Knight. Burks would be in the very close. If you're looking for a little bit more upside, Burks is probably the play. Pollard is more of the floor play. Zonovan Knight, I'm not starting him until I see him do it another week. Start two, Stevenson, Lamb, Aaron Jones, and T. Higgins. Give me Stevenson and Lamb, the two most solid options. Make sure you get Stevenson in your lineup tonight before the game starts. Pickens, Sutton, Palmer if Mike Will is out. Zonovan, sit one. I'm sitting Zonovan. If Mike Will does play, what it looks like Mike Williams is trending towards out, if he plays, obviously Palmer would probably be a sit, but Zonovan to me is not startable right now until I see otherwise. Ty Johnson's involved in the red zone. He's got some red zone work. And I know Michael Carter's not expected to play this week, but James Robinson could be activated. I'm just kind of staying away from Zonovan Knight, even though I do think he has a role with this team. Need a wide receiver in a flex with St. Brown as my wide receiver one. Rachaad White, Pickens, Juju. I'm still going with Rachaad White. Which defense is good this week for upside? The Seahawks play the Rams. I think this is a good opportunity. If Seahawks defense is still on your waiver wire, they've been one of the top 10 defenses this year, top 5 in a lot of leagues. Go ahead and get the Seahawks defense. Kyrie says, Justin, man, this is my first year playing fantasy football, and you've been helping me throughout the whole year. I just want to tell you I appreciate you for that, my guy. Salute to you, Kyrie, and I'm glad you're having fun in your first year playing fantasy and winning some games, man. Hopefully you get a championship. If not, hope you learned something, man. Best defense to start this week. Yeah, I really like the Seahawks defense. They're a turnover-prone defense. They get a lot of turnovers. And then also they allow a lot of sacks right now. The Rams are allowing a lot of sacks with not a whole lot of weapons. I trust the Seahawks defense this week. Start Jacoby Myers or DeAndre Swift. Give me Swift for the upside over Jacoby Myers tonight. Pick two in PPR, Swift, Pacheco, Kyron Williams, B-Rob, Najee or Warren. I would go with Warren if Najee sits with DeAndre Swift. That would be the play. Jalen Warren with DeAndre Swift. If you don't want to play Warren, you're scared about him coming back from injury or that, because like Benny Snell is trending towards out this week. If you're worried about the workload for Jalen Warren, the next one up would be B-Rob. He seems to be getting a lot of the workload. Antonio Gibson's a little banged up right now, so B-Rob would be next. David Njoku might be out this week. Who would you pick up? Harrison Bryant, Tyler Conklin, or Logan Thomas? Logan Thomas is questionable. I would rock with Tyler Conklin in the matchup against. It's a revenge game for him going up against Minnesota again. I think they'll get him some looks. Swift or Pickens? I'm going with Swift for the upside. They're talking about getting him more involved. Rachaad White or Najee if healthy? I'm going with Rachaad White. I got to see Najee all the way back and practicing. So I don't think Najee even plays this week if I had to guess. Start Deontay Johnson or Drake London. Give me Drake London for the upside. I don't think Deontay Johnson carries a lot of upside, even in a plus matchup against Atlanta. Is Harrison Butker a good kicker rest of the season? Yes. You can just leave him in your lineups. One of the highest scoring, if not the highest scoring, I think they're the highest scoring offense in the league in the Kansas City Chiefs. You're good to go there. And yeah, Chiefs heavy, like you mentioned, is definitely not a bad thing. Trade D-Hop and James Conner for Tyreek Hill. I already have Saquon, Eckler, and JT. This is a great consolidation move, but D-Hop is pretty similar to Tyreek Hill. So if you're just trying to avoid the bye week for DeAndre Hopkins this week, I go ahead. I don't mind that. Get yourself a win. But Tyreek Hill and D-Hop are pretty similar, and you don't want to give your opponent another weapon in James Conner if they need a running back. So be careful with that. Fields or Tua? This week I'm going Tua. Even with the report that Justin Fields got in full practice today, I'm still going with Tua, even though the matchup against the Niners is a little bit tougher. Give me Tua this week. Hey, my brother, hope you're well. McLaurin, Pacheco at the flex. Give me Terry McLaurin over Isaiah Pacheco at the flex this week. I think you're good to go. Just Pacheco doesn't have a lot of upside, and we're bringing in Melvin Gordon. I'm not sure if he gets involved this week, but there's a big element, guys, of a committee. There's still a full-on committee here. He scored against a terrible team last week. Isaiah Pacheco, we figured he was going to get in the end zone. That happened. I'm not expecting it this week. Dak or Geno? Give me Dak this week. It's close, though. Give me Dak this week over Geno. Hey, man, need a really good answer. LV, you know what I'm going to say. Everybody needs a good answer, right? We all need good answers. Pierce versus the Brown or Rachaad White versus the Saints. If you say White, what's the reasoning? No question. You just want to know, trust my gut. And that's fine. I still think Rachaad White's the play here. The secondary for the Saints has given the Bucs fits over the years, and we know Rachaad White's a pass catcher in this offense. Dameon Pierce is not. So even if he plays well against the Browns, he's going to have to score a touchdown in order to be relevant. Rachaad White will be relevant for your fantasy team, even with catches. So you want to make sure that you're getting a guy like that in who can, in PPR leagues, also catch the rock, gives you a little bit more of a floor. We've seen Dameon Pierce over the last 2 weeks. PPR league, start 3, Singletary, Dillon, London, Deontay, Jamal Williams. Give me Singletary, London, and Jamal Williams. I don't love Jamal Williams, but that would be it. Pick up TDP or Mike Boone in PPR. I love both of these pickups for the week. Mike Boone seems to have the most appeal short term. TDP is if anything happens to C-Mac here over the next couple of weeks, you got yourself a rock solid high end running back too. I think Mike Boone is the pickup I would make over TDP, but TDP should have a role too. It's just there's not a lot of pass catching upside. David Njoku versus the Texans with Watson back, or Hawkinson versus the Jets. Keep in mind I got Jefferson too. To me, that doesn't matter. You play the player that you think can score the most points. Doesn't matter if they're on the same team or not. Who do you think is going to score the most points? Give me Hawkinson in the matchup against the Jets. Even though I like David Njoku, I think he's a little banged up this week coming in. So give me TJ Hawkinson. Start David Montgomery, Evans, or Debo in the flex. Give me Debo in the flex out of those options. Yo, Justin, Cook's worth dropping for somebody with upside. DFG, what's good, dog? So I can grab Jalen Warren, Hollins, Collins, Elijah Moore, TDP, or Jelani Woods. I have Mixon, Kamara, Walker, so I'm not sure where I'd use another running back. Yeah, you don't really need another running back. Jalen Warren would be nice in case something happens with Najee Harris, and he's out for an extended period of time. So Brandon Cooks, I think this is going to be a lost season for him. He wanted to get traded, and it didn't happen. They're going with Nico Collins and Chris Moore even. So not a lot of appeal there for a guy like Brandon Cooks, but to me, Jalen Warren would be the guy I would be looking at. It's just you're pretty deep at running back, so it's not a necessary move, in my opinion. That would be the move. If I was going to do one, it would be Jalen Warren, but I'd probably just keep Brandon Cooks. Fields or Garoppolo to start. David Njoku required me to start. Thanks, bro. Raul, I got you. If Fields suits up, I go with Fields and David Njoku. Those are the two I would go with. We got to see if Fields is lacing them up this weekend. Watson or Fields? Yes, I'll go still with Justin Fields, even though he's dealing with it's his off shoulder, right? It's his left shoulder, so I'm not overly concerned about it. I would play him over Watson this week just so we see what Watson looks like. Hey Justin, would you start Knight or Pacheco this week? Yeah, the two options. I'm still starting Isaiah Pacheco. It's just I don't fully trust Donovan Knight, just not yet, not yet. Like I get it. But I'm not starting him. I want to see more. Even though Michael Carter's banged up and not expected to play, I don't trust him fully in my lineups. Put Pacheco in there. You know he has a carved out role. Is he on yet? I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry. I was late. Bro, I'm surprised he's never this late. When does start? Eastern time? Yo, my bad, y'all. I didn't mean to keep you guys waiting, man. I did not mean to keep you guys waiting, but I had some business to take care of, man. So sometimes that matters. Should we be concerned with the kickers tonight? I have not seen the weather update for tonight, so if there's a reason for concern, if it's weather, let me know. So hopefully you got some good help here. Pick 2, Sutton, Gabe Davis, and Drake London. I need this one bad. Matthew, everybody needs it bad. It's week 13, week 14. So unfortunately, I'm going to give you guys some great info, more so than not. But I'm going to give you guys some bad info, too. It's going to be a bad pick. Don't hang me for it, man. Sutton, Gabe Davis, Drake London. I need this one bad. Go with Sutton and Drake London. I'm not expecting Gabe Davis to have a great game tonight. Should I start Joshua Palmer or Christian Watson at the flex? Go with Christian Watson. Plus matchup for Green Bay this week against the Bears. Let's see. I need help. Got to get back in the playoffs for a bye. Pick 2, Chase, Burke, Swift, Pierce, and Hunt. Thank you. I got you, Rigo. You're definitely going with Chase. You do not bench Jamar Chase. And I'm probably going with DeAndre Swift. Swift and Chase would be my plays there for the upside. If you're concerned about Chase, then go with Treylon Burks. I live in New England. Ooh, some insider info. I live in New England, and wind has definitely slowed down. There's like none now, so I think tonight should be fine. Actually, let's get you guys a weather update from Twitter. Let's see what we can find, guys, while we're... Since we're looking at it, Kevin Roth. I told you guys about my guy, Kevin Roth. So Kevin Roth tonight says, wind is indeed whipping for now in Foxborough, but a wind advisory is set to expire at 5 p.m. Eastern time, which was already passed. And winds will taper off quickly from that point. So looks like Esterlin was onto something there. Winds are dying down. Good to go. Evan McPherson or Graham Gano is my kicker the rest of the season. Kicker is a toss-up. I'll probably go with Evan McPherson. Higbee or Greg Dulcich. Both of those are terrible options right now. If I had to pick one, it'd be Greg Dulcich, and I don't love it. Thoughts on Dameon Pierce this week and further down the line? They're going to be in a lot of negative game script type games where they're going to be having to pass the ball. So I think we're going to see this is going to become the normal for Dameon Pierce, unfortunately. He's going to have 1 or 2 more good games throughout the year where you're like, hey, I'm glad I started him. But there's going to be a lot of bad weeks in store for Dameon Pierce too, like low floor weeks. So be careful. Treylon Burks or Joshua Palmer? Give me Burks. With Richie James questionable, should I play DeAndre Carter or Landry over him? I would stick with Richie James until we find out. So come back Sunday. Make sure you check out on Sunday. Until we find out that he's out, there might even be a better waiver option for you. Check your waivers because I wouldn't play Jarvis Landry, and DeAndre Carter is probably not a play either. Singletary or London at the flex. You can go with the floor for Singletary. The floor for Singletary or the upside with Drake London. I prefer Singletary's floor. With the whole Jalen Warren situation, should I start him over Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton, or CeeDee Lamb? No. Keep those guys in. You're good. Something has to be wrong. He's never this late. I caught up, y'all. I caught up. Maybe bro's taking a nap. Who knows? Big Body Cisco knows what's good. J-Han, we back on track, man. Back on track. Guys, I'm going to continue to answer questions here. At some point, I got to catch up and get on TikTok. I promised them I'd be on too. But y'all come first, man. You're on the YouTube channel. You come first. Pierce, Ayuk, or Smith. Give me Ayuk for the upside. Please pick one. Cordero Patterson, Kyron Williams, or Rashad White. Give me Rashad White on that one. Sup, glad you're on. Singletary or London? I think I just answered this one. I'm going with Singletary over London for the floor. London has way more upside. It's just his floor is super low. Should I start Watson or Herbert? Give me Herbert, 100%. 100% Herbert. Singletary, Pierce, or Zay Jones at the flex. I go with Pierce, Singletary, then Zay Jones. Tua or Lamar? Give me Tua. Even though it's a bad matchup, I'm still taking Tua. Lamar a little banged up with no weapons on the outside. Give me Tua. Man, Justin, you have me scared. I almost spin the block. We here, baby. Back in full effect, too. Let's go. Would you start any of these guys over Watson, Rodgers, Mariota, Pickett, Mike White? Nah. I think those are all, maybe Aaron Rodgers. He's just dealing with the injury. So at any point in time, if they start losing that game, unfortunately, I could see Aaron Rodgers getting pulled, him getting re-injured. That's the thing I would be concerned about with Rodgers. Stick with Watson, man. It's not sexy. The only other one I would play is Mariota. But that's a tough matchup against the Steelers. So I think you're rolling with Watson. Should I start Tyler Bass at kicker tonight? The wind is supposedly bad. We got Esselin in the chat saying that we good to go. So, and I also just checked my source on Twitter. We are good to go with the weather. It seems to have died down. I can't promise it's accurate, but that's what I have. Antonio Brown in a standoff with police. Are you kidding me? Is that real? Standoff with police. Why? Yesterday, you told me to play Dillon in the flex. Is it still the move? He's questionable. Depends on who the other option was. I know A.J. Dillon isn't a sexy pick right now. Going up against the Bears, one of the worst run defenses in the league, it's a decent start if you don't have any other options. If this is a deeper league, that seems to be the only reason I would say play A.J. Dillon. Had Watson stash and no one wanted to trade for him, including a guy who had Fields and Rodgers on a bye week 14. Want to drop him because I have Hurts, but I'm too petty. I know he get grabbed. Be petty. Don't drop Deshaun Watson. Unless he plays like shit this week, keep him on your radar. Don't let nobody else get him for free. Otherwise, you drop him, and whoever has that Week 14 team is going to just pick him up anyway without getting him traded. Wait till after Week 14. Keep being petty, my man. Swift, Jamal Hasty, or Jeff Wilson. Pick one. I'm going with Jeff Wilson against the Niners. Swift will be a close second. Pick two, Zeke, Jeff Wilson, Pacheco, Gus Edwards, and Matt Holland. Give me Zeke and Jeff Wilson, baby. Zeke and Jeff Wilson. Pickens or Montgomery at the flex. Give me Pickens. I like the floor with David Montgomery against the Packers, but the upside with Pickens a little bit more than what the ceiling is for David Montgomery. Give me Pickens. I'll take the floor with Pickens. Burks is questionable. Do you think he will still play? He didn't practice today. I'll have to take a look at the reports. I haven't looked at the current reports. If he did not practice today, as long as he got in a limited practice tomorrow, I'd feel okay. If he didn't, I would be very concerned in changing a couple of these Treylon Burks picks that I have. Hopefully that's fair enough for you guys. Pickens breakout game incoming. We've already seen a breakout game from Pickens, but I could see him having a pretty decent day against a suspect Atlanta secondary. Foster Moreau or Hunter Henry. Give me Foster Moreau. He's been playing at a pretty decent level. I take Foster Moreau this week. Pick one, wide receiver, one flex. Christian Watson, Pickens, Swift, Pacheco, Jamal Williams. Give me Swift, and it's close between Pickens and Christian Watson, man. I'd probably go Christian Watson this week for the upside. Is owning a business super stressful? Yes and no. It's there's ups and downs. So the ups are always good, and you got to know that there's downs coming. There's downs, and you got to know that the ups are coming. So I tend not to get stressed out very often when it comes to anything. I'm pretty low key. Stuff doesn't really stress me out a whole lot. But owning a business, man, it's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of stressful times or things that could be stressful. So I appreciate that question, man. And yeah, it's one of those things that's rewarding. I like the reward more than the stress. Thoughts on DJ Chark this week? Who should I start? Chark, DeAndre Carter, Landry, or Richie? Yikes, it's ugly. I'm not a big DJ Chark fan. If he doesn't get a touchdown, he's not really valuable to your team. So to me, out of these options, Richie James, DeAndre Carter, DJ Chark, then Landry. Who's going to be RB1 if Najee's out? Let's go with Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren's got next. Pick one, wide receiver. Pick one, Debo, Burks, or Zay Jones. I'm going with Debo still. Still going with Debo Samuel. Kareem Hunt or Jaylen Warren. I'm going with Jaylen Warren over Kareem Hunt if he starts and if Najee's out. That's the play. Didn't hear what you said about Myers versus Swift for the start. Give me DeAndre Swift. That's what I said. Go ahead and keep Jacoby Myers out tonight. Go with DeAndre Swift. Cole Kmet or Foster Moreau with all the injuries to the Bears. Kmet is the number one option. Yes, I think Claypool is trending towards out as well. So I still would go with Foster Moreau. He's been pretty consistent over the last couple of weeks. So that's my option right now for him, especially going up against the Chargers. They're going to need him. Do you need your college degree or did you need it to open your business? So I did not need my college degree to open up my business, but it might have helped as far as knowledge. So if you're looking for just like additional knowledge, college good to go. But business opportunities, entrepreneurship, you don't need your college degree, man. It's good to have, good to always fall back on. But if you're trying to open your own business, bro, just it takes a lot of work and dedication, and you got to be able to handle adversity. When things aren't going your way, find a way to fight through. It's kind of like managing your fantasy team, right? When things aren't going your way, what do? Do you panic and drop all your players, or do you find a way to win? These streams where you just streaming on YouTube is fire, bro. Thank you. Yeah, I try to do it on TikTok too, and show them love, because that's where a lot of you guys came from. It's where a lot of the audience came from TikTok. That's where I built a lot of my, my personal brand has been built on on TikTok. So I try to show love to that, but I like doing the YouTube stuff too, man. If David Njoku can't play, who do you like? Cole Kmet, Tyler Conklin, or Jelani Woods? I like Jelani Woods a lot until I found out he's been out of practice for the last 2 days. It's never a good sign, so I'll probably go with Tyler Conklin out of those options. Prop for tonight, feeling Ramondre Stevenson rushing and receiving yards. What's it sitting at right now? Let me take a look and see. Stevenson rushing prop. I like the under for Gabe Davis today. What was it, at 40 yards or something like that? Gabe Davis was at, I don't even see it up anymore. Here we go, receiving yards. Gabe Davis, yeah, it's at 49.5. I like the under for Gabe Davis tonight. Ramondre, I'll probably stay away from because his Bills defense is legit. And then, yeah, that's the only one I really like tonight. Diggs under 2. I feel like that Diggs under might hit. It's 84.5. I feel like both him and Gabe Davis might hit their under. So you could probably parlay that with Josh Allen too, and the under on the throwing yards. I think it's gonna be an under day for a lot of the Bills receiving targets. Knox or Foster Moreau? Give me Foster Moreau over Dawson Knox. Can't believe I traded Josh Jacobs for ETN. Jacobs has a guaranteed 25 touches. That sometimes it happens, man. You make bad deals, and I would prefer ETN rest of the season still over Josh Jacobs, who has a brutal playoff schedule. ETN's going to be catching passes. It happened. He had a 0-point game. Josh Jacobs had a 50-point game. You're killing yourself for it now, but a couple weeks ago, it looked like a good deal. And me, honestly, I would still rather have ETN than Josh Jacobs rest of the season. Thank you, man. One more pick, A.J. Brown. Pick 2, A.J. Brown, Rashad White, Fournette, Sutton, Pittman. It's going to be A.J. Brown and Rashad White, 1,000%. Revenge game for A.J. Brown this week against the Titans. Evan McPherson, Zerline, Suckup, which of the kickers is the best rest of the season? Like I said, kickers are pretty even across the board. Normally, they're only like 10, 20 points difference over the course of a whole season. Give me Evan McPherson because he got the biggest leg. You like any player props for Thursday night? I just talked about it. I like a lot of the unders for the Bills side of the ball. I'm struggling to pick 2 from these wide receivers with Debo possibly being hurt. Can I get your thoughts? Debo, Zay Jones, Palmer, and Pickens. Excuse me. Yes, I'm going with Debo and George Pickens. I'm burping right now, man. Jets and Vikings defense. If I had to go with one of them, I'd probably go with the Vikings defense. I'd find a better option, though. Should be a pretty tight matchup. It's just, I look at the quarterback play and the receiving play. The weapons on the Vikings side, it's tough because the Jets are the better defense. The Vikings aren't as good a defense. They have a good matchup. I would try to find somebody else, though. Antonio Brown is wanted in Tampa, Florida. Antonio Brown's news is legit. Guns in the crib. Damn. Well, hopefully everything's good with Antonio Brown, man. And, we never want to see anything bad happen. So hopefully everything's all good with him and he gets right and it's nothing major. So that's crazy to see, man. Hopefully, I haven't seen what's going on with it, but that's never a good thing. You want it and you got guns at the crib, man. Hopefully everybody's safe and due process takes its course. Cortland Sutton, Joshua Palmer, Debo Samuel with the quad issue, pick 2. I'm probably benching Joshua Palmer until I find out that Mike Williams is not playing. If so, I'm going to go with Debo Samuel and Joshua Palmer. If you're concerned about Debo, you can start Cortland Sutton. He had a decent matchup this week. Broncos up against the Ravens. I just don't love the matchup. Defense for the rest of the season, Vikings or Pittsburgh. If I had to pick one of these, it's Pittsburgh. I don't love either of these defenses. Pittsburgh would be the play, though. Fournette or Pacheco? Give me Pacheco till we see what Fournette looks like in his role. Is he back to a full, 10 to 15 touches? Is he going to get worked in 5 to 8 touches? I want to see it with Fournette before I put him in my lineup. We know Pacheco's a rock solid 10 to 15 carries. It's just a matter of if he scores. So I go with Pacheco. It's a low upside. If you're looking for more upside, Fournette's the play. Is Saquon still top 5 rest of the season? Absolutely he is. Not sure if you answered this one, but who should I start, Joshua Palmer or Watson? I did. I answered Watson. Pick 2, Wilson, White, Pierce, Warren. Going with Rashad White for sure. Jalen Warren, Jeff Wilson is the other one. I couldn't tell what Wilson that was. Jeff Wilson and Rashad White. Pick a receiver. I'm going with George Pickens out of those options. Thanks for all the help this year. You've been on the grind like crazy. Tristan, that's what life's all about, man. Somebody was asking me about the business stuff. Life's all about being on the grind, man. So if you ain't working, if you ain't trying, you standing still. And I don't like being stagnant. So always trying to improve and get better. Thank you for noticing, man. Debo's dealing with the quad injury. Any concern starting? No, if Debo plays, you start him. A lot of times, in football, guys are dealing with injuries, whether we know it or not. Sometimes they hide it. Sometimes they let it be known. Sometimes they miss practice. Sometimes they're limited. An elbow injury can mean this is bothering me today, and then on Sunday you come in and you're fine. An elbow injury can mean this is hurting me, but I'm going to play through it. An elbow injury for some people is I'm hurt and I can't play through it. So when the guys take the field on Sunday, most of the time I trust the fact that they're getting on the field because they want to play. Debo is not going to be in a limited role. Play him. So unless there's something that comes out and says he's going to be in a limited role, I'm not straying away. Why are you high on Swift this week? I've been talking about Swift for a while, Kevin, on the show, and this team has to figure out if he's going to be their running back one. Like Jamal Williams is not going to be that answer for this team long term. DeAndre Swift has the juice to be that. So can he manage a full workload without getting injured? This team is heading in the losing direction, and then also it's just one of those things where he's coming off of an injury as well. They had to give him time to get right in a matchup against the Jaguars. They're going to need him. Go ahead and get him in your lineups. Yo, man, should I start Deshaun Watson or Brady this week? I'm going with Brady over Deshaun Watson. It's a comfortable, easy, safe floor play. Gives you a week to see what Deshaun Watson looks like. Who's RB1 for Pittsburgh if Najee's out? Is Jalen Warren. Make sure he's not on your waivers. Kyron or Cordero Patterson? Give me Cordero Patterson. The Rams haven't been able to block for any running back. Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers, whoever's been in their backfield, they haven't been able to block for him. So I'm not expecting Kyron Williams to just come in and change that. Give me Cordero Patterson. I just made a trade. Mixon, Murray, Samuel for Amari Cooper and Pacheco. Oh, I don't like that. My running backs are Henry and Wilson. My wide receivers are St. Brown, Palmer. I like the Mixon side of that a little bit more, slightly more. Latavius Murray and Pacheco are damn near the same player. Mixon, I'd rather have running back wise. I get you needed a receiver though, so I guess I don't hate it. Could Rashad White, DeAndre Swift become top 10 backs in the season if they start seeing full workloads? I could see them having top 10 upside week to week. I don't know about finishing the season as top 10 backs though, but they could both be running back ones by the end of the year if they have full workloads. I could definitely see that. Tyler Conklin or David Njoku? I'm going with David Njoku all day. Until I find out if he's playing or not, going David Njoku. Why is Stephon Diggs listed on the Bills website as vet rest on the injury report? I'm not sure. I have not had a chance to see if Diggs practiced, if he didn't today, but I mean they're playing today, so I think he's expected to play. I haven't seen anything about him being out. Is Ramondre a good start? Go ahead and get him in your lineups. It's just the Bills defense is kind of tough. So he's been catching passes at a crazy rate, and Damian Harris is banged up. I'm not even sure he's playing this game. So yes, Ramondre's a good start. He's a high-end running back 2, back-end running back 1 this week. Ugly spot for my wide receiver 3, Elijah Moore, Nico Collins, Sky Moore. Very ugly. I go with Nico Collins first, then Elijah Moore. If you don't trust quarterback situation in Houston, Elijah Moore's a soft starter as well. I just think Houston's going to have to put up points this week against Cleveland. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly. How will Watson affect Chubb, and would you swap Mahomes for Fields? I think Watson will help out Nick Chubb, right? When you're able to pass the ball downfield, safeties and secondaries have to account for that. The passing game has to be respected. So I think it'll do nothing but help Nick Chubb. Help him see less in the box and run the ball a little bit more effectively. So a lot of people think that Watson's just going to have this crazy volume like he had in Houston. I don't see that. Kevin Stefanski's the coach there. They're sticking to a game script, to a philosophy, and that's to run the football with your best player, Nick Chubb. So I see that happening at least for the rest of the season until something changes. Chris Olave or Christian Watson? Give me Olave. I like the upside for Christian Watson this week, but if he doesn't score a touchdown, he's kind of been touchdown dependent. A lot of his catches have been touchdowns, which is fine. But I could see a game where he has 3 catches for 40 yards and no touchdowns happening very easily. So give me Chris Olave, and Saints are going to need him this week. But against the Bucks, should be a good play. All right, so I've been answering questions on the stream here for 30 minutes. I'm going to open it up to TikTok too, guys. I know this is It's easier for me to get through them. So hopefully I've been able to answer your question. If you're just getting through to the stream, I'm going to continue to answer questions on here. But I'm going to open up the platform, man. Gonna open it up. How's everybody doing today, man? How's everybody doing? I'm always talking on this shit. I never know how everybody else is doing. I like knowing that stuff, man. All right. Back on here. Boom. Boom. And we are live. All right. Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen, good starts this week. Absolutely are. Both. Keenan is a wide receiver 1 for me. Amari Cooper is a wide receiver 2 until we see what Deshaun Watson looks like. Been rocking with Jets team. They've been solid all year. Stash the Vikings because I like the playoff schedule. Should I drop to play Seattle this week? Indy, the Giants, Green Bay. It's not like it's, overly impressive. Indy's rocking with Matt Ryan. They look a little bit better. The Giants are decent. And then Green Bay is serviceable no matter if it's Aaron Rodgers or if it's Jordan Love. I don't think the Vikings are a must-keep defense. I'd rather have Seattle. They've been a top 5 defense the entire way. TikTok, what's happening? I'm also on the Justin Henry Show here live on YouTube answering questions. If you want to hop over there, I'll answer some questions here on TikTok in just a second. Do I start Mark Andrews or Schultz? I know Andrews hasn't been doing too hot lately. Do I still give him a chance to start Schultz? I'm still starting with Mark Andrews. Keep him in your lineups. With the way Jameson can stretch the field, do you think that'll help Amon-Ra potentially skyrocketing his value? Not this season. I think it's going to take a while for Jameson Williams to come into the fold. He's not even expected to be on the field this week. More of a week 14 expected start time for him. So to me, I think it'll help him, just not this season. Are you worried about the injuries for Chase and ETN? Not overly concerned. Not overly concerned. I got to win these last 2 weeks to make it in the playoffs. I got killed by injuries. Man, injuries. Some of these injuries this year were kind of crazy. TikTok, what's good? What's good? What's good? Here on YouTube, the Justin Henry Show, but I'm also going to be answering questions on here. Should I be worried about Justin Fields with no Mooney? Justin Fields has been using his legs. He hasn't been passing for very many yards anyway. Should not be concerned about Justin Fields. Amari Cooper or Terry McLaurin? Give me Amari Cooper this week, even though it's a lot closer than it appears with Terry McLaurin. Pickens or Devontae Smith? Give me George Pickens in that one, plus matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see. What do you think the Lakers are going to be this year? I think they're going to be so good. I'm not sold on the Lakers being good. I got the Lakers probably hitting the play-in game. I think the play-in game is about where they settle in. Amari Cooper or Diggs? You're going with Diggs tonight. Cooper or Diggs? You're going with Diggs tonight. Pittman Jr. or Treylon Burks? Give me Burks unless we find out he's not playing. Lamar or Geno? I'm going with Lamar. Higgins or Pickens? Give me Higgins. Let's see. Should I trade Waddle and Higbee for Mark Andrews and Devontae Smith? No, just keep Waddle and Higbee. I like that side a lot better. I was on the Mixon side of that trade. Didn't mention that. Whoops. Thanks for your grind this year. Found you this year, and you've been awesome. Brendan, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for following and supporting the show, my man. Flex Watson, Garrett Wilson, Godwin, Pierce, Pollard, or Jeff Will. Non-PPR. Non-PPR, I'm probably going with Jeff Wilson. Get you in the ground game. You're probably going to get a score against the Niners this week. Knight or Fournette at the flex? Give me Fournette over Zonovan Knight at the flex. Jamal Williams or Joshua Palmer? If Mike Williams doesn't play, get Joshua Palmer in your lineups. Diggs or Jefferson? They're both solid options. You got to start both of them. If I was going with one this week, though, I'm going Jefferson against the Jets. I think he's gonna rise to the occasion against Sauce this week. Thoughts on the Cowboys season? They'll be competing for a Super Bowl. They got a legit defense, legit run game. If OBJ signs there, the passing attack is one of the best in the league too. So, yeah, I like the Cowboys. I think they're a top 4 team in the NFC. Justin, thoughts on Kyron Williams? I think he has flex appeal during bye weeks, but I don't think he's that strong of a candidate to start as like a running back too. The line for the Rams is just, it's ugly. Mixon and Waddle for JT. Thoughts? I think you're overpaying, especially since JT has a bye next week. Mixon and Waddle need to be in your lineups. I'd rather have that side. Thoughts on CMC this week? He could be limited. He's probably more of a back-end RB1 start, but if he plays, get him in your lineups. Yo, what's good? I see that, man. Swift this week. I like Swift a lot this week. I think he has a good week. Back-end RB1, high-end RB2 this week for me. Greg Dulcich or Juwan Johnson? Give me Dulcich for the floor. Juwan Johnson if you're looking for a little bit of upside. Start Rashad White or Lenny? You're going with Rashad White. Brady or Deshaun Watson? You're going with Brady. Kyron Williams or Jeff Wilson? Go with Jeff Wilson against the Niners. Keenan Allen, wide receiver 1 rest of the year. Absolutely is. David Montgomery, Rashad White, Jeff Wilson, or Jamal Williams. Pick one. I go with Rashad White, then Jeff Wilson. Are Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen good starts this week? Both of them are. Yes, indeed. Should I drop Gus and pick up Davis Price, or Melvin Gordon? If I was going to drop Gus, it'd be for Davis Price for TDP, but you're probably good with Gus. It's just J.K. Dobbins is coming back. So TDP and Gus are both going to be in the exact same role. Backup, touchdown dependent, running back. I need help with running backs. Kamara, Latavius, Rashad White, Zonovan, Samaji, Jalen Warren start 2. I'm going with Rashad White and Alvin Kamara. Jalen Warren would be a close third. Do we think Najee's going to play? I doubt Najee plays this week. I doubt it. Jeff Wilson or Treylon Burks? Give me Jeff Wilson for the floor. Jeff Wilson or Jamal Williams? Give me Jeff Wilson. Do you think A.J. Brown goes off this week? Absolutely, I do. I do think revenge game against the Titans. It's going to happen. Props for tonight. I like Gabe Davis is under 49.5 yards. I think that's a lock for tonight. I also like Josh Allen's under for the yards tonight as well. So I forget what the number was, but I like both the unders for Gabe Davis and for Josh Allen. Let's see. Bench one, Juju, Ayuk, or Singletary. I'm benching Juju. Pick up Mike Boone. Yes, Mike Boone's a pickup. Mike Boone is a pickup in 12-man leagues or deeper. Julio, Richie James, or DeAndre Carter, or A.J. Dillon. Pick 2. This is super ugly. I'd probably go with Richie James if he plays, and then Julio for a little bit of upside. Start 2, Watson, Gabe Davis, or Sutton. Give me Sutton and Watson. I don't like Gabe Davis tonight. I think Belichick's going to take that away and force the Pats to run the football today, or force the Bills to run the football today. So it's going to be a Singletary and James Cook kind of night. Josh Allen may even use his legs. I think he's going to make the run game beat him tonight. Try to keep it close, low-scoring game. DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams. Give me DeAndre Swift this week. Is Jalen Hurts a top 5 QB this season? Absolutely he is. Do we play Jacoby Myers tonight? He's not a must-play. If you have other options, get him in there. Thoughts on DeAndre Swift? I think he's a back-end running back 1 the rest of the year. Upside, I should say, rest of the year. Bills or Seahawks defense? Give me Seahawks defense this week. Start Mahomes or Hurts? Not fading Mahomes. Start Mahomes. Knox or Higbee? Those are both terrible options, man. Go with Knox, and it's ugly. Start Schultz or Freiermuth? Give me Dalton Schultz. Dalvin Cook or Jamal Williams? Always Dalvin Cook. Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields? I think Trevor Lawrence is startable this week, guys. I don't love starting Deshaun Watson this week, man. And going up against the Lions, plus matchup for Trevor Lawrence, get him in there. Juju's off, questionable. Evans hasn't been awesome. Or Pickens. I need 2. Thank you. Angela, I'm picking Mike Evans and George Pickens. That's the plays right for me right now. I'm not benching Mike Evans even in a tough matchup against the Saints. And then George Pickens has a good matchup against Atlanta. But I'm still rocking with those two, man. Cordell Patterson this week, get him in your lineups. He's a good RB2 flex option in deeper leagues. Fields or Trevor Lawrence? I just answered that one. Trevor Lawrence. Diggs or JJ rest of the season? Probably going with JJ rest of the season. Dameon Pierce a good flex this week. He's decent, but he has a low floor. Going up against Cleveland should be a decent matchup for him. You probably have better options. Rashad White or Keenan Allen? Rashad White's good. Both those guys have good days ahead in PPR leagues. I'd probably prefer to start Rashad White. Olave or Kirk? Give me Olave. Pickens or Jalen Warren? Again, running back for wide receiver. Pickens has more upside. Warren will have a floor. If Najee's out, give me Jalen Warren for the floor. Is Rodgers an okay start this week? You have to make sure that he's fully ready to go. The only concern I have with Aaron Rodgers is if he gets hit in the wrong spot, they'll pull him again and put Jordan Love in. So that's the concern with Aaron Rodgers. Could also be the end of his season if he gets hurt one more time. You like Geno rest of the season or Derek Carr? I like Geno over Derek Carr. I was on a 6-game winning streak. Then Jamar happened. My team hasn't been the same. My man, it happens. Jamar is back, ready to help you out. Trade Fields for Mahomes. Absolutely. If I could get Mahomes for Fields, I'm doing that every time. Fields or Lawrence this week, I just talked about. I'd rather have Lawrence in there. Fields should be fine, but I do think they'll probably limit his running slightly. I could see them running the football in general more with their running backs, with David Montgomery. Should I pick up J.K. Dobbins for this Sunday? If you're in a 12-man league, maybe 10-man league, go ahead and do it. 8-man, I'm not worried about it. Thoughts on Michael Carter? It could be a potentially longer injury. We got to see what the injury reports look like. I don't think he's expected to play this week. If he did, it wouldn't surprise me, though. It wasn't supposed to be a long-term injury. Thoughts on Gabe Davis tonight? I just talked about it. Under, baby. Under. Jeremy, appreciate the follow, my dog. Appreciate you. Gabe Davis or Kyron Williams? Yeah, I probably would go with Gabe Davis still over Kyron Williams. What up, dog? Who is that? What the pint? What's good, bro? Appreciate you tapping in. Thoughts on Dawson Knox? If he doesn't get a touchdown, I'm not playing him. So, do you talk about NBA fantasy? Yes, I do. Drop your questions in here. Who you got tonight's game? I think Bills win. Probably really close to the line. I'm staying away from the action tonight. I'll take the under though. I like the under tonight. Even though it's a low total sitting at, 40 points? 43? Yeah, I'll take the under tonight. I'm not concerned about the weather. I just think it's a lower scoring game. Start Zay Jones. To me, Zay Jones isn't a must start. He's more of a flex option. Has a lower floor than it looks like. Thoughts on DeAndre Swift this week? Yes, I think the offense gets him more involved this week. I think DeAndre Swift definitely gets more involved. CMC limited or Swift? I'm still going with CMC over Swift, but it's getting closer as the week goes on. Higbee and Dulcich are my tight ends. What should I do the rest of the season? It's ugly, bro. It's ugly. Unless you can trade, which you probably can't. Just keep an eye out for more high upside options. Dulcich is probably your safest bet out of those two. McKenzie or Davis? PPR leagues, I probably go with McKenzie because he has McKenzie just has the targets you're going to want to see. Gabe Davis, if he doesn't get the long ball or the touchdown, he doesn't help your team out a whole lot. Patriots or Bills tonight? Give me the Bills, 100%. Money line, you're not going to get good value on it, but if I had to pick to win tonight, I'm going with the Bills. Aldor Charles, hopefully that helped you, dog. How do you feel about Josh Allen versus the New England defense? Yeah, I think New England's going to limit him in the passing game. I think they're going to force his team to run the football. And yeah, it's going to be a lower scoring game, ball control. You don't want this Bills defense to get out of line. They're going to take away Stephon Diggs, take away a lot of the passing game, which is what the Bills do well, and they don't run the football well. So I could definitely see that being the approach for Bill Belichick, who's known to take away the best weapon. The best weapon is Josh Allen or Stephon Diggs. Let's see. Duvernay. Yeah, I'm not playing Duvernay at all. At all. Green Bay defense any good this week. They're not a must start against the Bears, especially if Justin Fields comes back. Hey, dog, you've been doing your thing. Ayuk been doing his thing. Evans hasn't. I know you said you're not worried about Mike, but Ayuk's a decent play. If you're really scared about Mike Evans this week, go ahead and get Ayuk in. What I say is in bond. Like, you know what I mean? You got to, at the end of the day, play with your own team too. And you take my information, process it with what you know and how your team has been doing and your setup, and make the right decision. My gut would still say play Evans, but at the end of the day, it's your fantasy team. Live with your results and own it. Good or bad trade? I didn't see the trade, my man. I did not see the trade. Oh, there it is. Ja and Draymond for Russ and DeRozan. Depends on the setup of your team. I always like to take care of, if you're playing categories, I definitely like to make sure you have your categories. I probably would go with the Russ and DeRozan side for a points league though. So it's not a bad, I wouldn't call it a great deal. It seems pretty fair in my opinion. You're giving up the better player for talent, Jeremy. Thanks, bro. I got you. Bro, parlays. Drop what you're thinking, bro. I just dropped a couple picks. The GOAT said, Duvernay or McKenzie rest of the season? Give me McKenzie rest of the season. I hate Devin Duvernay right now. I wouldn't play him. And I don't love starting Isaiah McKenzie either. Is James Robinson droppable? See what happens this week. But it's trending towards that, especially if Michael Carter didn't have a bad injury. Start Pacheco over Kamara. No, I'm still starting Alvin Kamara over Pacheco. Start Garrett Wilson or George Pickens. I would start George Pickens this week against Atlanta. Garrett Wilson's very close. Both of those guys are in the same tier to me starting this week. Allen Lazard or Gabe Davis. Give me Lazard. Stack Geno and Lockett or T-Law and Zay Jones. Give me the Geno side against the Rams. How many points is Stevenson getting? They're going to use him a lot in the passing game, so in PPR leagues. Go ahead and give me, if I had to put a guess on it, I'm not sure he gets in the end zone. Give me 15 fantasy points this week. Jimmy Tuna said, yo, bro, how you been? Appreciate you, Doug. I've been good. Jamal Williams or Pacheco this week, let me know. Probably walking with Jamal Williams over Pacheco. They're more locked to use him in the red zone than Pacheco in Kansas City. Dawson Knox a good start? No, Dawson Knox is a dart throw tonight. Dart throw. Thoughts on Chubb? Even though New England hasn't been great against the tight end this year, it's still Dawson Knox is a part of the offense for the Bills. He's red zone or bust, so just know that. They've been getting him a lot more involved since the bye. Thoughts on Mike Evans? Tough matchup. You still got to start him. Still got to start Mike Evans. Thoughts on Chubb performance this week? I think Nick Chubb has a day. I think this team forcefully runs the football. I talked about an anytime score for Deshaun Watson. I can see a bootleg happening, and hopefully I'll remember to record that and upload it. But yes, I can see like a bootleg happening for Deshaun Watson at some point where he does a play fake and runs one in. But Nick Chubb should have over 100 yards and a touchdown this week. I think he balls out this week. Like I said, I even think Kareem Hunt gets in the mix second half. If the score does get a little bit ugly, I can see Kareem Hunt even getting some work in this game. He's been kind of invisible over the last couple weeks. Garrett Wilson or Christian Kirk? Give me Garrett Wilson. Who am I starting to flex? Pollard, ETN, or Rachaad White? Go with Rachaad White, ETN, and Pollard. Help! Fields or Lawrence? Give me Trevor Lawrence. I don't see parlays. What you talking about, bro? You got to give me some games you're looking at. If I'm the parlay guy, most of the time I answer start sit. So if you're looking for just parlays, you may want to go somewhere else. I'll help you if you got something you like though. Allen or T-Law? Give me Josh Allen still. Do I accept CD for Kamara and Pollard? I need wins now. I'd rather have the CD Lamb side because Kamara has a bye next week if you need wins now. Juwan Johnson or Knox? They both are the same player. Touchdown dependent. Though it's a dart throw. I would take Knox. Zay Jones or Pickens? Give me Pickens. Diggs touchdown? No. I don't think Diggs hits the end zone. Kamara, Zonovan Knight. If you're wondering where I'm at, guys, hey, if I helped you out in the stream at all, there's 161 of you guys in here. If I helped you out at all, head to the link in the bio, click the YouTube, subscribe for me. That's the best way y'all can help me out. I ain't going to ask you for no money. I ain't going to ask you for nothing else. All I'm going to ask you for is show me some love, hit likes on my posts, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube. That's the best way y'all can help me right now. So I appreciate all 150 of you guys here in the chat, man. Thank you. Kamara, Zonovan Knight, Jeff Wilson, Lockett, Brandon Ayuk. Start 2 running backs, 1 flex. Give me Kamara, Jeff Wilson, and Brandon Ayuk out of these options. Fire up Warren. Yes, if Najee Harris does not play, Jaylen Warren is a start. Christian Watson or Debo? I was thinking about putting in Debo if CMC doesn't play, and Debo does. Yes, I think Debo's the play either way. Not Michael Carter. I meant DeAndre Carter Esterlin. I forgot the question, so I'm sorry. If I mentioned Michael Carter, I'm probably not starting DeAndre Carter. Had a rough week this week, but these lives always turn me up. Let's go, baby. Let's go. You got to have the energy, man. At worst, we having fun with this shit, right? Right or wrong, a lot of times we having fun. So if you're the guy that gets mad about a fantasy loss, you probably ain't going to do well with me. Because at the end of the day, shit happens. I done lost leagues. I done won leagues. But if you're the type that wants to go for the win and ain't scared to lose, hit that damn follow button. Let's go. Who you got tonight? Bills. Bills all day. On the road, don't matter to me. Go Bills. Fournette or Cooks? Give me Fournette over Cooks. I hate the roll right now. Pierce or Swift? I'm going with Swift. Pacheco or Swift? Give me Pacheco for the pass catching upside. Gabe Davis or Treylon Burks? I'd rather see what Treylon Burks has on Sunday than rely on Gabe Davis tonight. Brian Robinson or Cordell Patterson? I think Cordell Patterson's a safer play, but I've been talking about it. Brian Robinson's role is increasing. He's looking more healthy and more explosive every week. The only reason I would say Brian Robinson is if Antonio Gibson confirmed does not play. He missed practice today, so if he does not play, I would go with Brian Robinson. Would you start Garrett Wilson over Etienne or Mixon? Nah, I would keep both those guys in. Safe to drop P. Ryan? Yes, it is safe to drop P. Ryan after Mixon returns. Dak or Geno? Give me Dak over Geno. Patterson or Jeff Wilson? Give me Jeff Wilson. All right, what time? We got an hour before game starts. I promise y'all I'll go to game time, but I ain't going to game time. I got to get off this. I got to get off the stream here in about 5 minutes. So 5 more minutes, rapid fire through these questions, guys. Rapid fire through the questions. Let's get it. I got to find the last one I was just on. I lost it. There it is. All right, Juju or Myers at the flex? Give me Juju this weekend. Nick Folk, I don't do kickers. I'll say Nick Folk for tonight. I don't love it. Latavius Murray or Singletary, both have similar upside. Give me Latavius Murray this week. Start 3, Najee, Kyron Williams, Kamara, Rachaad White, Jacobs. I'll go with Jacobs, Rachaad White, and Kamara. Sorry I didn't hear you. Should I get JK and start him for the Sunday? I would not start JK this week, but he's a viable pickup in deeper leagues. Singletary or McKenzie this week in the flex. I'm probably starting Singletary over McKenzie for the floor. Drop Gibson and get ETN's handcuff? Nah, I don't. ETN is solid, man. I haven't seen if he practiced today or not, but if he was on track to play, you're not wanting to get his backup. It is getting super dark in here. Pickens or Sutton at the flex? Give me Pickens. Fields or Trevor Lawrence? Give me Trevor Lawrence this week over Fields. Justin Herbert, 2 or Deshaun Watson? Give me Herbert. 2 is very close second. Should I start Pollard if he could be in your flex? He's a flex option. DK or Evans? Give me DK this week. Olave, Pittman, or Garrett Wilson? I'll go Olave, Garrett Wilson, then Pittman. Very close between all three of them. Got Christian Kirk for Deshaun Watson. If you have a quarterback already, it's okay. I don't love it. Christian Kirk's been pretty up and down all year. I got Foster Moreau and Cole Kmet. Am I good at tight end? Yeah, it's been horrible. It's rough. You're just back there at the high end tight end 2 category. It's where every tight end it feels like is outside of the top 5. So Foster Moreau should be okay for now. If Justin Fields can come back, get healthy, come off the bye, you should be all right. Is Kamara washed now? I don't think he's washed. I think he's had a rough patch of games. I can see him being relevant in the fantasy playoffs. Palmer, Evans, Rachaad White, Debo, pick 2. Give me Rachaad White and Debo. Very close. Evans is a close third. Thoughts on Derrick Henry after his midweek last week? That happens with Derrick Henry sometimes. If he doesn't catch the rock, sometimes he's going to have a game where it's 8 points, and that happens, So I'm not really concerned about Derrick Henry. He's a must-start every week he plays. McKenzie or Nelson Aguilar? Tonight, I'm going to go with Aguilar for the upside. Should I start Zay Jones? I'm not starting Zay Jones, but he's flexible. He just has a lower floor than it looks like. He's been doing well over the last 2 weeks, so I don't fault you for starting him. Geno or Fields? Give me Fields for the upside over Geno. It's close. Start Christian Watson. He's flexible, wide receiver 3-ish, more so than anything. All right, last question, guys. Mike White or Danny Dimes? Is Jamar a start? Jamar is a must-go, and I would start Mike White over Danny Dimes. I appreciate everybody, you guys, tapping in here with me on the stream. Make sure you get here early. I know I was late today, so I went a little bit over. Good luck to you guys in your Thursday night matchups. And I will see you guys tomorrow on stream as well. I'm not sure. I might do a little bit of NBA tomorrow. So I'll answer fantasy questions, of course, but I might talk a little NBA. Peace out. Y'all be easy.